Mr. Vice President, you do not have floor privileges right now. Continue.
This is also an opinion on a referendum from Chris Russo, class of 12. It says, please join me in voting no on the university survey Wednesday and Thursday.
You'll notice that I didn't include my position as a student senator on that.
What?
You'll notice that I didn't include my position.
That is out of order. That would be appropriate point of information. But does that conclude the question answer thing? All right, Senator Williamson.
Senator Williamson off campus. I plan to bring attention real quick, but I have been impressed with your hair since campaign season began. Will you please tell us what you use?
That is one question that I'm pleased to answer, Senator Williamson. I use tea tree hair pomade. No, it's a personal endorsement. It's not for my position. So, thanks.
All right, Senator Howard.
Yes, sir.
Do you think that if you had in your endorsement videos and whatnot said just your name and your position, it would have had any less impact?
Just my
Like if
name.
you hadn't mentioned your name, but you had in your videos when you're
Right. Well, I did just say my name.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks.
Senator McSally.
Yeah, withdrawn.
All right, are there any further questions? Senator Hoyle.
Permission to preface, Mr. Speaker.
Sure.
I think a lot of people have been pointing a lot of fingers at UConn, and I also believe that they are too prideful to point them at themselves sometime. But do you agree, one, that this is the greatest university on the face of this earth? And two, do you believe that if you stripped away the maroon from this room and the A&M emblems and everything like that, that the way we treat each other would be reflective of what people know Agnes to be?
That's a good question, and I completely agree with you. And I'll use this chance to deviate a little bit. I hope if you guys challenge me, that I would accept those challenges and attempt to become better. I hope you guys do that. If you guys write an Italian article about me, I'm not going to complain about it, I promise. And I'll say thank you for correcting me. I've chosen to leave personal names out of this because, like I said, it's not personal. It's not personal. This is an issue that I think I have with the culture that has been created in this branch. And I said it in the article, there are a lot of student senators in here who do an excellent, excellent job. And I think you know who you are. And I want those people to step up and lead. I want you guys to make a difference. I want things to change. And so, if you want to challenge my job, please do. I'll appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, Chair Price.
Chair Price. I just wanted to preface by saying that I agree with what you said. I just don't necessarily agree with how you did it. But my question is, I've been speaking to a lot of students today, and they don't necessarily agree with what your endorsement said and like what the implications behind that implied. Do you believe that it was unethical?
For what? The SBP endorsement?
Yeah.
I don't believe that is unethical. We have a branch, we have a commission, the Election Commission, who can operate without me being a part. I in fact haven't been a part of any Election Commission meetings because I know Allison is so capable and she doesn't need my help. And I think that she has the integrity to know that even though I might have a stance, she knows me well enough that it's not going to bug me if she charges my buddy with something. It's just not. And she's got to do what she's got to do, and I trust her. If I was trying to sway anything in the Election Commission, then yes, it would be unethical. But I'm not. And I hope you guys know that about me, is I'm not trying to go behind anybody's back to mess up the election. I'm just not going to do that.
Quick follow-up, Scott. Sure, Bone.
After Senator Twinde.
Thank you.
Is that my cue?
Yes.
Okay. Senator Twinde off campus. Quick permission to preface.
Sure.
Yes, sir. All right. So those who know me, know that I'm not going into politics or anything. I really want to go into public relations. So from a PR perspective, ideally a Jason Cook perspective, is there anybody that will be on your executive staff that would be interested in possibly brainstorming so by next semester in the fall that we can have a Student Senate Awareness Week? Because those of y'all that I'm friends with on Facebook maybe read my Facebook status. Coming from a PR perspective, we're lacking an identity, a brand. Big Ben is a brand, Aggie Mustard's a brand, Student Senate should be a brand, but ideally we're not. So have y'all possibly thought about that? Maybe somebody on the executive staff would be interested in start brainstorming and getting other senators to get something going.
We've got a lot of really sharp people on cabinet, and I think that's a necessity. It might even be worth in the constituency affairs committee to have somebody who's the brand chairman, or somebody who is going to have a job specifically focused on that, because I think it's essential, and it'll help with y'all's consistency, your message. It'll help in awareness, and I think those are all things that need to be addressed. We're happy to help with whatever. I think that's a wonderful idea.
Chair Price.
Chair Price, I just wanted to start again by saying I trust you, and I know you wouldn't want to do anything like that to hinder the election. But to further on my question, putting a person in that position where, say, their candidate's behind, or falling behind in like the general talk on campus, and having a person on that campaign who's endorsing that candidate in a position where he has leverage over the election commissioner in her position, or his position, whoever that may be. Do you think that it was prudent of past presidents to set a precedent of not endorsing candidates?
Well, I disagree with the notion that the precedent has been set, because the precedent has been made because it's happened before, and I know for a fact that Jacob Robinson did it. I know for a fact that Mark Gold did it, and so it's a decision based on personal judgment, and I personally judge that it would be okay. And if you think I'm going to ask Allison to step down from being an election commissioner, you're wrong, because I think running an election is the hardest job in the entire world at this place, and I do not want to do that. So, more power to you. But yeah, that's what I got.
All right, thanks.
Don't worry about it.
All right, Senator Mitchell. Are there any further questions? Senator Zelaya.
Senator Zelaya, House of Education. This will be very brief. So I think that a lot has been talking about the content of what you wrote, and you mentioned a little bit about your intent. And for me, looking at it from the perspective of a teacher, I care about the intent of my students. I want them to succeed. And if I call them out in front of class, it's because I care about them, not necessarily the content. What is your intent? Or whenever you were writing this, I'm pretty sure that it was very, very tough for you, because we all love this university.
Right.
So what was your intent, and how do we move forward? Not for next student body president, but for you as a student body president.
Thank you. That's an excellent question. The intent is to address problems that I've seen, to address issues that can definitely be improved, to address issues that students have talked about to me, so that we can all be aware of this. After all, y'all are representing the student body, and I think that they should be aware of issues. The second point that I was hoping to raise is to point out that being an elected representative is a big deal. It is a huge honor to represent students. And I wanted all of us to make sure that we agreed upon that. And then my third point was to hopefully inspire current senators and future senators to want to make a difference in the township. And I'm glad that there have been people up here who senators up here tonight who have addressed the issues. And I'm really excited whenever I talk to people today who said that they wanted to run for Senate in the future because they wanted to make a difference through this body. So that's the intent of it. Thank you.
All right, Senator Russo.
Okay, finally. So this has been addressed multiple times, but I think it's misunderstood.
Right.
So just to clarify, brief permission to preface.
Certainly.
Okay. So in professional ethics, a conflict of interest is when any party has a conflicting interest between two decisions or two duties that he has to fulfill.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, it doesn't involve any action or any impropriety. So it doesn't depend on the personality of the person involved, but it depends only on a conflict of the interest at hand. So your support of a certain candidate over another conflicts with your duty of conducting free and fair elections and enforcing the statutes and ultimately being upheld. Under that definition, do you think that what has happened is a conflict of interest by a textbook definition?
You know, sir, so we're just going to have to agree to disagree on this one because I don't think that my decision personally will affect the job that the Election Commission does. I don't think it's going to be an issue. I know it's not going to be an issue, and that's going to be that.
Point of information, Mr. Speaker.
State your point.
So is outcome a condition to be met for something to be a conflict of interest?
Okay, now I couldn't give a definition, but I can answer this question. I do remember this chapter in ethics. No, it doesn't matter what actually happens or the intentions of the people involved. The very presence of the conflict, the interaction between the two roles the person is playing is enough to be an ethical violation.
Thank you.
Right. Okay. Senator Weger.
Howdy, Senator Weger, off campus. I think, we've argued about the point of next year. We want to, have better relations with exec and Senate. But I think we can all agree, the next 3 months are pretty important. So what do you say that we should do to improve legislative and executive relations?
Well, I'm going to go 3 lunches with the chairs in the Senate. What's it, 8? Well,
They're eight.
The chairs is plural. And you. So we're going to get the rest. Thank you. I'm going to have to work personally on my trust and openness to working, because I've been very put off, obviously, and I think I'm going to have to get over some of my own reservations. That's going to have to be where it starts with me. Bill.
All right, Senator Brown.
Joe Brown, off campus. John, what I want to know is, when in your mind did you decide, hey, I'm going to fully support Reed for SVP? What point in time?
It was probably on Friday or Saturday.
Bruce Boston speaker?
Yes.
If that's the case, then why is his website your old website? Instead of earlier?
Beats me. I'm not even going to get into that. That's a dumb question.
Okay, so I have a question. If you don't know, then was your website stolen? I mean, did he go in and copy the code from your old website?
That was a very mature question.
Fighting words.
All right,
There's good relationships, right? Yes, ma'am.
How much time do we have left in the session for agenda, for the rest of the agenda?
we have about an hour and 15 minutes. So we'll get through it. We have an hour or a minute and 45 seconds left for questions. Senator Weger.
Okay, really quick question, Senator Weger, off campus. So I know we've been going around an argument about, you supporting Reed. My question is, why do you support Reed as the Vice President?
Yeah, thank you for asking. I think that this year I've learned that being student vice president is a lot more than knowing everything about policy. It's about a lot more than being the sharpest guy when it comes to the issues. It's somebody who is willing to do whatever it takes to represent Texas A&M with the utmost character in everything they do. It's somebody who's willing to work hard every single day of the week, who's willing to not have weekends off because he has to work. It's somebody who's going to be engaging with students, who's willing to go out of his way, somebody who's personable and people are willing to engage, somebody who can public speak and who has a personal mission that they're on to make a difference in people's lives. And I know that Reed Jessup is that person. And I know, and I've known that since the first month of his freshman year, whenever I interviewed him for Fish Aids, and he's the only 10 that I gave, and I said, that kid's going to be a student body president. I knew it. And he had it as a freshman. He's got the charisma that I would like to see. And on top of that, he has a strong policy platform. A lot of it focused on internal issues in the executive branch, which is where my heart really lies, and where we've made a lot of progress this year within the executive branch. And I think he'll do an awesome job with the team. Thank you.
Senator Howard.
Hey, John. I'll preface saying that I am third on Garrett's campaign.
Yeah.
I don't like follow Reed much.
Right.
What are some policies?
Let's see. The build is a big project that he is working on. It's something that I've actually got to have some meetings in with the deputy coordinator and the MSC president, just preliminary ideas. And I think that one major project that will engage the entire student body is something that's really critical and something that we need to have, and something that we haven't had since Bonfire. So I'm very, very excited for Build to happen. And that's something that's going to incorporate a lot of people. Another thing he's really focused on is strengthening the internal vice president position, which is something that we created this year, works solely with the committees. I think there's so much that we've done this year. Am I running out of time?
Yes.
Okay. So much that Cole has done through the internal vice president, and so much more that he can do. And I think that the committees need to know that as an executive branch, we are there for them no matter what, and we want to help them become better. Thank you.
All right, and that concludes the period of question and answer. Who is going to read the mission statement and core values?
Thank you.
Got it.
The Texas A&M University Student Senate represents all students in order to enhance the Texas A&M experience within our university and communities through research, legislation, and advocacy in accordance with the core values of our institution.
Thank you. First item for old business. Okay, first of all, before we start old business, the chair will offer a motion to amend the time for presentation of new business to 3 minutes, or new and old business to 3 minutes, with 1 minute of question and answer, and the date will be 1.5 minutes per side for a total of 9 minutes.
Yes.
That has been seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. That passes. First is the Assurance of Equality and Admissions Bill. Senator Wolf.
Okay, howdy.
Howdy.
We'll try to go real quick. This is very basic. A very almost duplicate bill was passed in the 63rd session. It's just basically saying that only things that applicants have earned themselves are taken into account when a student has to have their application reviewed by admissions. Tyler went and met with the head of admissions and took this bill to him, and he personally edited it, and we went with his edits. So this is coming straight from the head of admissions. So it's very simple. It's basically, no longer when you apply, does the guy looking over your application, if you haven't already been automatically admitted, he can't see how much your parents make. He can't see, we took out, what did we take out? We took out gender, socioeconomic, because they can't see your name. You can't be like, you had somebody named Shirley, looking over your app, and they're like, well, it's a Shirley applying. Well, they must be wonderful. We need more Shirleys here. Let's go. You know, I mean, that's a comical example. But you understand what I'm saying. They can't look and be like, you know, before they can see your socioeconomic status, so they can't look and say, oh, well, his daddy's a millionaire. Well, he'll be able to give more money towards Texas A&M and bring him. It is 100% just your academic credentials. And again, it's been edited by the head of admissions. So,
all right, question and answer.
Yeah, Q&A.
Senator Mountain.
Sierra Mountain Senator, College of Veterinary Medicine. Are they able to see the resume point of it?
Yeah,
and all the stuff that we, like sports and all of those things?
I can clarify further if you like. Essays, resumes, scores, GPA, involvement, community service, everything that you can earn as a student will be taken into advantage. You can't earn your last name. You can't earn how much money your parents made, you know, who your parents are, where, what, you know. The things you can't earn are taken out. The things that you earned yourself are taken into consideration. I mean, it's a universally accepted notion. So, let me also offer this, that if you have problems with the bill, okay, vote against it because you want these things included on the application. That should be your reason, because you want these things included on the application. Don't give arguments saying that we didn't go through the right processes, or that it's unfeasible, or that on principle it's wrong. No, if you think that we should have socioeconomic status going into the decider's head when they are making the decision, if you think it's important for them to see Thomas McNutt rather than applicant 42003, if you think that that is important for some reason, then vote against this bill. But do not bring up process or anything of that nature in debate. This is very straightforward. Okay, if you think that they need to know what the gender is or what, you know, how much your daddy makes, or anything like that, then vote against it, okay? But other than that, I mean, this is a pure, very simple bill. Everybody should be able to agree on it, which makes an even playing field.
All right, that concludes question and answer. We will now move into a period of debate. Is there any debate against? Senator Puente.
All right, howdy. How much time? A minute?
Minute and a half.
Minute and a half. Okay, so this bill is really simple. It's plain black and white. But here's my concern. We need a name everywhere we go. When we apply for a job, we need a name. When we apply for FAFSA, we need a name. And also, as far as socioeconomic status, when we apply for scholarships, they need to know the information. In order for Regent scholars to receive a Regent scholarship, they have to have a socioeconomic status of $40,000 or below. So that information is important. And as far as the name, that's almost infeasible. Yes, I've already spoke with Scott McDonald before Tyler Mantry did, and we both know that. I already know the process. So I'm not going to debate against, you know, this isn't this and this isn't that. So my only concern is we need a name because that is vital in everything we do, everything we apply for, and socioeconomic status as well, because that information is needed for scholarships.
All right, speaking in favor, Chair Mantry.
Howdy. So, yeah, I don't see what this has to do with scholarships. Yeah, this is a bill on admission. This is not going to the Department of Scholarships and Financial Aid. This is going to admission. They're completely separate entities. The applications that go to be reviewed by admissions are not the same as those that get reviewed by scholarship. And so that's all I have to say with that. I yield to Senator.
Yeah, okay, this has nothing to do with how much you pay for school. Zero to do with it. Zero to do with how much money you're given in scholarships. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, once you're into school, then, you know, all the scholarship. In fact, the director of admissions talked about that, how they are separated, and it's not a conflict of interest. Your scholarship will not be affected by this bill. Okay, so that is not a problem. Because if it was, man, I'd be against this too. But luckily it's not an issue. Second of all, with your name, okay, I mean, what if I'm, you know, an admission guy and I don't know, but I go through and I find out that my, you know, nephew is applying. Yeah, I didn't know that he was, or some sort of your family, friends, or whatever else. Okay? We don't want to put somebody in that position. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with Joseph Puente or 77716. I mean, they're trying to make a completely unbiased decision. And so taking out someone's name is just another step toward that, so you don't have any conflict. It's a purity bill here. You know, I mean, you know, everybody did it this one, that's 90%. So that I yield to. Let's move.
All right.
Move for previous question.
Motion has been made for previous question.
Second.
It has been seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. That passes. We will now move into a period of voting.
voice vote.
A motion has been made for voice vote and seconded. All in favor of that, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. That passes. All in favor of the Assurance of Equality and Admissions Bill, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay.
Nay.
In the opinion of the chair, that division has been called. All in favor of this bill, please stand.
Very principled.
All right, I see 27. All opposed, please stand. That's 6. So the bill passes 27 to 6. Next is the executive branch reporting amendment. Chair Fisher.
Howdy.
Howdy.
What you have soon to be brought before you is the executive branch reporting amendment. Mr. Claybrook touched on communication being a problem and could not identify any emails that seem to have been sent to him. This bill would, and Mark provided this last week, but did not this week, would compel the executive branch to provide updates to the Internal Affairs Committee, which would then be forwarded out to you at the beginning of every Senate meeting with the agenda, information relevant to the passage of legislation that we've already passed. So, like if we pass, like the parking bill, they would have to provide, scroll down please, what they've done to implement that bill. And just a bullet point, sort of big idea deal, they say, oh, we talked about it in this meeting with the Transportation Committee, we talked about it with the Faculty Senate, we brought it to the attention of the Department of Transportation on this date, here's what they said, that's about it. I think it's a great deal. I don't think it's underhanded at all. I think it's just for the purpose of communications and transparency. So with that, I yield to any questions.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, we will now move into a period of debate. Is there any debate against this amendment? Seeing none, the chair deems debate one-sided, and we will now move into a vote.
Speaker, I move for a voice vote.
Motion has been made for a voice vote. State your point.
Do we have a quorum right now?
I believe we do, yes. Let me do a quick count. Okay, that's 30. We have fewer than 55 total senators, to my knowledge. So that is half, so that is quorum. Okay. Okay. So, all in favor of doing a voice vote, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. In the opinion of the chair, that passes. All in favor of the executive branch reporting amendment, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay.
Nay.
That passes. Next up is the MSC utilization bill. And that is, are you on this bill?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I put you on there. Okay. All right. So howdy, guys. Okay, this is a bill that it was brought to my attention that it's kind of a problem that we have. Basically, it's that the rooms in the MSC are not readily available for students to go use. How did I know this? Because I went and I talked to the people in the MSC, and I went and I talked to the people in the second floor rudder, so let's not have that little piss fight, okay? Alright, so I talked to them, and so then I decided, okay, I'm going to go see if this is true. So I went up to the back corner up in the MSC, and I sat in there and I studied for close to 2 hours. And no one came and gave me grief, but people downstairs said, hey, you can't do that. So I was like, I'll go try it anyway. I didn't get in trouble. So I think this is something that students need to know. It's something that should be available to them. We all pay $100 every semester or year, I can't remember whichever it is, every semester. And so I think that the rooms in there should be available for use by individual students. Up until groups use them at 5:30. I don't remember where that is in the middle. Up there at 1. Okay, and then 2, that individuals should be allowed to book a reservation in a room for a one-time event, just the same way that groups do. So if, one person on their own is like, hey, I don't have a group to back me up on this, but I want to have this event. You know, let them bring that to campus. I mean, it's not going to hurt anything as long as it's not booting out another group or something. Let them do it. I'll see what the problem is there.
All right.
Am I out?
No, you're not.
Oh, how much time do I have?
About a minute and a half.
Oh, okay, good. All right, so the three, we just want these to be available for students after the groups have already booked them on first come, first serve. Just, you know, let them go in there, let them study, whatever. It's not hurting anything. We're paying for it. Let's see. That's basically it. And just that these main study areas, including these individual rooms, just remain accessible at all times to accommodate everybody's different study schedules. So that's it.
All right, first question goes to Senator Hoyle.
Senator Hoyle of Business School, just from a purely economic standpoint, like supply and demand, do you think it's really feasible that we could allow 50,000 students to individually book a room as opposed to 800 or 900 student organizations that already fill up an MSC almost every hour of every evening of the week?
Well, okay, I was told by the people at the MSC those bookings start at 5:30. And so this was just to allow someone, after all the groups have come and, you know, filtered through, we all got the room that we want, or the one that was fifth on our list, whatever. Let individual students come and say, hey, I want to bring, you know, this, I want to, you know, host a speaker or something. You know, I've got a buddy up in DC who wants to talk to people. You know, let them come book a room at, you know, 3 in the afternoon since no one's using it. Because the MSC people told me that groups start using them after 5:30, and that during the day, no one uses them. So I thought, let's use them. We're paying for that, so let's use them. Is that
follow up? There is another question, Senator Roddy.
Senator Roddy, polls. Anyways, the $100, is that specific? What's that specifically for?
That's for facilities fee. So I believe the way it was said, it's just for everything that we have. I think it's for like rooms like this, for Rudder, for the MSC. It's just our $100 covers all of that. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, just purely out of curiosity, with no opinion weighing in on the bill, have you talked to anybody in the MSC, like on staff, as to why this isn't already like this? Like, there might be some extenuating circumstances to why they wouldn't want any students to be able to have these rooms?
They didn't elaborate on that. I talked to them, and they were just kind of like, well, I don't know. It's kind of their general answer. So I kind of put 2 and 2 together. It's like, we're not using this, we're paying for it, so why don't we use it if we're paying for it? So that was my reasoning.
All right. All right. That concludes question and answer. Is there any debate against this bill? Senator Woolridge.
Yeah, I'm not. It's not that I'm necessarily against this bill. I just want to bring something up that could be considered, I guess, against this bill. When a group brings in a speaker, for example, a group at the MSC, there's an approval process that runs through to make sure that it's, you know, quality, it's fair. If there's any, you know, money that's used through the MSC has funds that they can use to help sponsor a program. And so if that money's used, it's okay to have a good representation from the MSC and from A&M. So I just wanted to make sure that everyone's aware that there's a screening process for speakers that come through organizations. I think that's a good thing. And so if we're allowing that in the MSC for individuals, I think that that's going to be something that's going to potentially be used to circumvent that process. That's all I got.
All right. Senator Woolsey.
All right. Yeah, howdy. So the main purpose of this was just to make sure that they could book those rooms in the same manner that groups do. I wasn't going to go into, you know, just, hey, let an individual go in this room and, you know, bring this guy in here. We're going to go speak to 200 people that I, you know, pulled off Facebook. So I just wanted, this is to make the rooms available, not to, you know, give individuals some, you know, special way to get a group or a speaker in. I think I actually put in there that individuals do it in the same manner that groups are allowed to book it. I think that might address what your concern is. So with that, I yield to the floor.
All right, Senator Hoyle.
I'm against.
Yes.
I think that first of all, there are certain processes, like organizations have an advisor assigned to them that have to approve requests to book these kind of rooms, and students don't have any accountability with that. Just the first thing that pops into my head is if we allow any student to walk in and book a room, not knowing the character of that student, as much as I believe that every Aggie has the utmost regard for other people and things like that, people do make messes of rooms, and to put that on the janitorial staff and things like that, and have no enforcement of them doing that, I just think it continually ran into problems. You'd have 50,000 students or each one that made a mistake having to, be suspended from room usage and things like that. I just think it brings up a lot more problems than it does solutions. So, and I yield.
Can I take that?
Do you wish to yield?
I wish to yield.
Yeah, just on that note about as far as keeping the rooms clean and stuff, I was actually in an event that had a room booked tonight, and because we didn't pay this certain fee, my organization was held responsible for cleaning that entire room. So just again, that's on that note. That wasn't the janitorial staff wasn't responsible because our organization didn't pay for them to clean it. So again, that's just one more thing that an individual may not be held to the same standard that a group would. So.
All right. Speaking in favor, Senator McNutt.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but how lowly do we think of the people that we're representing? I mean, my goodness, are you serious? We all pay an equal fee to use the MSC. You know that we were promised originally, when we approved a lot of the funding for the MSC, that we would get free room reservations, unlimited free room reservations, and that was denied to us after we approved the funds. You know that happened? So we all pay a fee for these rooms and for the usage of it. You pay it, I pay it. And so if we get into the game of them choosing which Aggie, and by definition, an Aggie is someone who doesn't lie, doesn't cheat, doesn't steal. Which Aggie gets the right to use what they've already paid for, and which Aggie doesn't? I think that we're going into very, very difficult, thin ice, treaded waters. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm sorry. We do not want to get into that business at all. Right, whatsoever. We need equality of who can use these rooms, not picking and choosing winners and losers, especially when it's the administration who's in charge of picking and choosing who the winner and loser is. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah. So the way that I thought we should address that is to make it clear at the end of the bill that if you violate the Aggie Honor Code when you're using these rooms, that no more. I really don't think we're going to have the problem of people just going in there and, rock star trashing the hotel room in there. I mean, unless we've just got some very vindictive Aggies, which I don't think we have. So I don't think this is going to be a problem. And this is just to utilize the fees that we already are paying.
All right. Is there any debate against? Seeing none, the chair deems the debate one-sided, and we will now move to period voting.
I move for a voice vote.
And then we're going to name for a voice
Point
vote.
of information.
Say your point.
Your knowledge, Mr. Speaker, this might seem kind of inappropriate, but has there ever been any reported cases of students using the study rooms in the library for sexual activities?
Yes, there have been, to my knowledge.
Wow.
I've heard reports of that happening before. I'm not 100% sure if those are rumors or not, but I do think there's a
clarification of that either. No personal.
There is a reason there are not locks on those doors.
Point of information, Mr. Speaker. Is that not one of the stated policy goals of the Texas A&M Revolutionary People's Liberation Front?
I've never heard of that.
You can defer that to the chairman.
Okay.
Make yourself look like a fool, Casey.
Yeah. A motion has been made for a voice vote. Did that receive a second?
Yes.
It has been seconded. All in favor of taking a voice vote on this bill, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay.
Nay.
In the opinion of the chair, that passes. All in favor of passing this bill, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
Nay.
The chair calls his own division. All in favor, please stand. That's 28. All against, please stand. That's 6. So by a vote of 28-6, this bill passes. Before we start on the next bill, I wanted to say something. I was very impressed with the debate I heard on that past bill and the one before it. I really like seeing this debate on bills based on the issues, based on the impacts they would have on the student body, and not attacking anyone's character, the jobs they've done, who's talked to who about what, just about whether this is a good idea and what the implications of it would be. So thank you to everyone who stood up and debated. That was very good. The next vote is on the architecture safety bill.
Yeah, on the way, sir.
All right, so Senator John Megan here is an architecture major, right? And so in the Langford Architecture Building, they have labs and I guess drafting rooms, right? And yes, and when you draft, you have to use the X-Acto knives, and many times, you listen to music, you're looking at something else, and what?
Do that again, so you just, and then just.
You just cut, exactly, and the thing is, there aren't Band-Aids on every floor. There's one Band-Aid station, is it always filled?
Actually, yeah, there's, out of the whole entire architecture building, there's 3 A, B, and C. And there's one in the wood shop, and there's one on the first floor of Langford C, which, where all the studios are at for architecture students. And sometimes we work really late nights, for all-nighters, and students get tired and they don't really pay attention to those X-Acto knives, and they're sharp if you ever, have one or something. But I know some students lost part of their fingers because at night they just accidentally cut them off, and they don't have access to any first aid kit.
So we're getting rid of architecture. Oh, sorry.
So it would be really nice that the department will, provide that kind of stuff for us, because we can't go to Jupiter or at 12 a.m. in the morning to get my fingers stitched or something. And we're paying $432 a semester for equipment and stuff like this. And $100 goes towards printing, but what are we doing with the rest of $300? So it would be really nice that we can get first aid kits on every single floor of Langford A and C, so that students have access to first aid kits. And
just asking for first aid kits on every floor, and not asking for a whole pharmacy or.
Coming from 2 student services chairs, we are pleased to present these non-controversial bills. This is what we do, and we love it. So hope you support them. We have a here.
All right. We will now move to a period of question and answer. Are there any questions? Senator Woolsey.
Yeah. Senator Woolsey, North Side. Do we know about how much this will cost?
no, I do not know how much it costs.
Well, we prefer to put safety over any cost. Okay, but no, it's not going to be that much. It's not going to cost that much. But yeah, just think of the price of Band-Aids or maybe some newsprint. So it wouldn't be that much unless everyone's cutting their finger every day. Then it might.
Just an additional $65 per credit hour fee. It's very simple.
Okay, as long as that's what we're approving.
All right. Are there any further questions? Seeing none, we will now move into a period of debate. Is there any debate against this bill? Seeing none, the chair deems debate one-sided. We will now move into a vote.
Mr. Speaker, I move for a voice vote.
A motion has been made for a voice vote and seconded. All in favor of taking a voice vote, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. That passes. All in favor of the architecture safety bill, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. That passes unanimously. All right, we will now move into new business, and again, I will remind the body that if you don't want to hear a presentation on a bill in new business, then you can consent to allowing it to be sent to committee. So the first item for new business is the architecture drafting equipment bill. Seeing no objection, this will be assigned to the Student Services Committee. The next step is the Go Google bill. With no objection, this will be assigned also to the Student Services Committee. The Fairness and equivalence in make-up responsibilities bill. Seeing no objection, that will be assigned to the Academic Affairs Committee. The Hazelwood Act lobbying bill. Seeing no objection, that will be assigned to the Legislative Affairs Committee. The Veteran Resource and Support Center bill. Seeing no objection, that will be referred to the Student Services Committee. And that concludes new business. Okay. Are there any items for open session?
Mr. Speaker, I have a bill for open session. It is the basically Senate communication bill to foster good communication between students and us to address points raised by individuals.
All right. All in favor of adding this to the agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. That passes. You have 3 minutes for the presentation.
Well, howdy. Concerns were brought before us that we have communication. What we have here is a failure to communicate. So, in hopes of addressing this issue, we have written the Student Senator Representation Bill. Basically, what it does is it advocates for possibly us to get a @senate.hmu.edu email address or other similar address, and for that to go on Howdy, so that, like, I'm in the College of Liberal Arts, so when I could click, I'd be able to click a link on Howdy and be like, contact my senators or whatever, and it would give them my relevant contact information so they can address concerns that they have and other ideas that they have to improve this university. It also requests that each academic college and residency group send at least 2 emails out every semester at the beginning and after we return after spring break to notify students, hey, this is here, Student Senate is here to serve you. If you have any concerns or comments, go here and let your senators know. Anything else?
This is solving the steps towards solving the problem that everybody's representing that we have. So, looking forward to the debate.
And if you've ever tried to log on to the Senate website, it takes years to try and load, so this would solve that problem by making it accessible for everybody.
All right. Are there any questions for the bill authors? Seeing none, this will be referred to Constituency Affairs Committee. We got one. All right. Okay. The most read words in the English language. Are there any further items for open session?
I have a emergency response thank you resolution.
All right. All in favor of adding this to the agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Okay. You have 3 minutes for a resolution. Yeah, you said it. Okay, yeah, forward it to the Student Senate 65 Gmail. While we're working on that, I did want to point out something with this bill. If you could scroll back up. And this is going to sound like the nitpickiest, stupidest thing ever. But the formatting on this bill, a couple things I want to point out, like the line in between these 2 lines, some of the formatting here. Guys, you would not believe how much time it takes to reformat bills that are sent into the correct mode and or the correct format. And it's not a huge deal. I mean, I'm happy to do it, and I know that there's not a standardized format out there. But when you write new bills, if you can, take an old bill and just replace all of the text in it, and then like replace the number with X's and stuff like that. That way, when it gets sent to me, it's already kind of in the correct format. So all I have to do is basically just put a number on it, and it's ready to go.
One of is there not a template on the Student Senate website?
There is a template on the Student Senate website. The problem with the template is, and I don't know if this is something that could be fixed. I've thought about before putting just sample legislation on the website instead of a template. But the problem with it is that there are some sections of templates that don't really translate into like what actually happens on the bill, and there are other things that need to be corrected. People use weird versions of Microsoft Word and stuff. Sometimes they get into it too. Anyway, your resolution.
All right. Howdy.
Howdy.
Me and my counterpart in exec, Nicole Heath, who's been a great help this year, by the way. We decided that it was smart to have an emergency response thank you to all the EMS teams that go into harm's way on a day in, day out basis. And I don't know if y'all heard about the incident that took place last week where 2 firefighters lost their lives and another 2 are still in the hospital. But I just felt like now was as good a time as ever to write a resolution thanking them and
All right, are there any questions? Seeing none, we will now move into a period of debate on this resolution. Is there any debate against? Seeing none, the chair needs to move aside. We will now move into a vote.
Move for a voice vote.
The motion has been made for a voice vote and seconded. All in favor of taking a voice vote on this resolution, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Okay. All in favor of this resolution passing, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. This passes unanimously. Are there any further items for open session?
Speaking of,
Chair Miller.
It's basically, it's a bill requesting that we have, the Constituency Affairs Committee has access to the university list.
All right, all in favor of adding this to the agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. You have 3 minutes.
Yeah, basically all this is like, basically when, SPP Claybrook sends out weekly updates and everything, so does President Lofton. And we think, me and Luke are both in CA, and we think that it'd be important to, for us to have access to this list maybe every 2 weeks or on occasion. And from now on in CA, we would be able to send out updates to anybody about legislation that is going through Senate and going to pass. So.
Yeah, going on, that is a great way to make students aware of what's going on. Everyone has an idea of what the executive branch is working on, and the Student Senate is really driving a lot of things that the executive branch is approving, showing we are the legislative force, and it's important for the students to know that we are spending these meetings doing something besides being on Facebook and hearing people argue all the time. We are passing some great legislation, and we'd love for the students to be aware of that so that they know what's going on. This would just be a way to allow us to reach out to the students and to read their email, and hopefully silence some of the people that doubt us or don't have enough information, kind of clear the ignorance surrounding the Student Senate.
All right, are there any questions? Seeing none, this bill will be referred to the Constituency Affairs Committee. Okay, 2 bills. All right. Are there any further items for open session? Seeing none, that closes open session. Does anyone request to give or have a committee report?
Not yet. Never mind. False alarm.
Okay. Seeing no committee reports, we will move into executive reports. The student body president already gave his. So mine will be pretty short and sweet. I think I said basically everything I needed to about the issue of today in my earlier speech. I was very happy with how the rest of the meeting went. Old business and new business, we got through things quickly and effectively. We had good debate, fact-based, just debate about whether things should pass on the merits, and that is exactly what I want to see. Is this a good idea or is it not? Is this a well-written bill or does it need to go back to committee? Things like that. I like seeing that kind of debate, and I think that's how we function best. But that concludes my report. I think Speaker Fernandez, if you wanted to mention maybe that one more time, right before you go.
I will be sending out an email tonight with the link and an access code to join the Senate group for big events, so please be on the lookout. Thank you, that's it.
Mr. Chief Justice. There is a report.
time this time. I wanted to let you all know about a recent case we had and the court's concerns involving that. I believe it was sent out. It was the case of Allison Crenzian versus Chair Harris. Hopefully you all got the chance to read that, but if you didn't, the gist of it is that there is a provision in the election regulations requiring that we cannot hear election cases until after Friday when the results have been read. We did uphold this in deference to the Senate, but myself and my fellow members of the court had very serious concerns about it, and I wanted to air them here. First, we question the wisdom of this policy and would urge you all to reconsider it. And second, we question the fact that we were never contacted about a rule affecting our internal procedures. So on the wisdom, I agree with the basic underlying thing. As Scott explained, the idea is to make sure that if we're bumping a student out of a seat, that they can be represented in a J court. And I agree with that. I think that's perfectly reasonable. What I don't agree with, and what I think is unreasonable, is to ask students to wait a week or a week and a half to appeal their disqualification in the middle of election season. For those of you who are campaigning for a seat next year, hopefully you all got the letter I sent out explaining your rights to appeals. It's confusing. It confused me trying to write it. And that's what we got with this policy. We got something that's confusing and might even disenfranchise students. That's a problem. And the fact is, we could have fixed it. Obviously, the election commission had problems with it, and they noticed it. That's why they brought the case. And obviously, the J court had problems with it. That's why I'm standing here doing this. Had we been consulted on this bill affecting all three branches back in October when it was passed, we could have avoided these problems, and we could make sure the students aren't disenfranchised. But that's not what happened. The open forum at the beginning here emphasized working together among the branches. And this is the perfect example. We didn't do that. And so we're stuck with a policy that confuses and disenfranchises students. I would urge you guys to start taking steps to fix that. But secondly, we're concerned that we weren't consulted about this at all. I've been confirmed by the Student Senate 4 times, twice by this body. I know, it's crazy to think about. And every one of our members was confirmed by you guys this year. Presumably, when you did so, you thought we were reasonable, competent, or at least not grossly unreasonable and incompetent. I hope that's the case. And yet, when this good policy was being proposed in the Senate, no one thought to simply approach us and to ask us if we would implement it in our own bylaws. Why that is, I don't know. Because we could have done it. It would have been perfectly reasonable for us to put it in our bylaws. But here's why that would help. Is if it's in our bylaws, we have flexibility. If we realize that there's a problem we didn't see coming, we can fix that. But if it's in the election regulations like it is now, we can't fix it. The J court can't rewrite it. And you guys need at least a month's notice to fix it. That doesn't give us the flexibility to run an adequate election. Had you guys came to the J court, we would have adopted parts of this. And we would have seen the parts that were problematic and found a way to fix them. But that wasn't what was done. Again, in light of what we said today, start working with the other branches. And I don't mean to suggest that the Senate is this evil monstrosity. I'll get to that in a minute. We all have faults. I mean, we do. The big thing, the first thing I want to focus on is to myself and my two, the other two heads of the branches, Scott and John. We all have faults. I know John is not here, so hopefully Mark can carry the message for me. It's my personal opinion as a student that message and that article was extremely inappropriate. We have venues to air those concerns. Governance Council is a great opportunity. Right here, the Student Senate is a great opportunity. We don't need to be giving a dividing voice to the student body because we are all trying to do the same thing, which is make this campus better. And so I don't agree with that. But at the same time, some of you mentioned that the exec is treated hostilely here. And I think that's also true. For example, with all due respect, Speaker Bowles, I think it was the last Senate meeting, Mark intended to be Judge John's proxy for his executive report. And he rolled that out of order. again, speaking as a student solely, that does create a hostile environment. We need to work with the exec, with the Senate, and with the court together, and making this hostile doesn't help anyone. But my biggest emphasis is to all of you, not the three of us, but all of you. Literally 45 minutes ago, you passed a bill telling exec what to do, forcing them to do it. And nobody asked if exec had been contacted, if we tried to work cooperatively, rather than just forcing them to do it. Now, I know from governance council that Kerry has talked with them. I don't know how much those discussions went on, but that's all it takes, is to stand up and ask, have you consulted the JCOL? Have you tried to do this in a cooperative manner? That's really all it takes. The truth is, we're immensely blessed to be representing the greatest student body in this country. And with that responsibility, we need to take it seriously. We do need to work together. Because when we're divided on each other, we don't get things done. The fact is that we are all, we have different ideologies. We have different personalities. We do conflict. And that's a good thing. Speaker Bowen said we do want conflict. But if you can't put aside the conflict and the cliques and the factions and all of that to help the student body, you do need to tender your resignation immediately, because you are in violation of the SBA oath. We're all adults here. I think everyone here is over 18. We're all adults. And I think it's about time the student government started acting. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, howdy, Thompson, Liberal Arts. Considering that election regulations are written in conjunction with the exec and Senate, in involvement with each other, Allison and RR work, Jody work very hard together. Considering that we passed it and then exec has to sign it as well if they agree with it. Right. Since they did that, are you giving the same speech to exec?
Oh, I have.
You have?
Yeah, I did actually raise that in the hearing as well. Why did they sign this if they had a problem? My understanding is that Allison didn't help draft this specific part, but you're correct. They did sign it. And at the very least, JCOR wasn't involved in it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Any further questions? Seeing none, thank you for your report.
Yeah.
And